What's good, DNA family? Welcome back to our channel. It has literally been forever since we have sat in front of this camera and recorded for you guys. Before we even jump into today's video, we just wanted to say, number one, we're recording in our car right now, so if you hear any background noises where it's cars passing by, birds and everything, so hopefully it's not too loud, and hopefully you guys can hear us just fine. So it's literally been forever, guys, and I don't know if some of you guys had saw our post or not, but we did inform you guys on when we'll be back on YouTube. So for those of you who don't know, in August we will officially be back on reactions and other things that we were doing on our channel, so stay tuned, you guys. We don't know if it's going to be the first week in August or the second week in August, but we'll definitely keep you guys updated. And hopefully we get that content out to you guys as soon as possible. We definitely miss it so much. So this video is going to be a little bit different. It is going to be very long, so stay tuned, you guys. But we just wanted to let you guys know where we have been this whole time, what's been going on, both the good and the bad. So we just kind of wanted to update you guys.
And if some of y'all recall, like the two major things that we were excited for before we took this big hiatus was, one, Destiny's pregnancy, and then two, the new house that we had just purchased. So that's kind of what we're going to be talking about in this video. Just everything that's happened thus far and why we've had a break to begin with. So
Alright, so let's jump into today's video. Okay, so the first thing that we wanted to talk to you guys about is we have officially got our first house.
Oh my goodness.
So yes, we officially have our first house. We closed in our house the first week of June. We have the keys and everything, but we have not moved yet. The apartment that we were staying in before this, actually our lease is up there on July 18th, so that's upcoming in a few days. So we have just kind of been staying back and forth at different locations for now. We are waiting for our new house to get done. Because not only are we laying new carpet, new hardwood flooring, we're painting the whole house. We're just doing a lot of home improvement stuff before we move into that house. So that's why we're not officially into that house yet. And that's why we're going to wait to do reactions until August. Because we know
we moved in by then.
By the end or the beginning of August, we will absolutely be moved into our new house already.
Settled in and everything. And like, y'all, we couldn't move in there anytime soon. Just because that carpet... Oh my god, it was terrible.
It was so bad. Like, I even just want to attach some pictures down here of what the carpet was looking like prior to us removing the carpet from the house. I was like, yeah, there's no way we are about to even try to shampoo this carpet because it was so bad. It was
crazy. It was the original carpet in the house, so you know, it was done. So
yeah. So officially in August, guys, we will officially start our YouTube channel back. We are just waiting until we can officially move into the house, have our YouTube set up and everything done, just so we just can worry about just daily content and not needing to worry about moving as well and needing to get this done and this done in the house. So that's why we've taken this break as well.
Yeah, just trying to get through this whole transition period so that we can be settled into our actual place, we're moved in, all that good stuff.
Yeah, definitely. All right, you guys. And the other thing that we wanted to update you guys on is it's more of the bad news for sure. And we just wanted to let you guys know that we had the baby on June 16th. And it's just a really long story. A lot happened during that time. And we just wanted to share it with you guys. So on Sunday night, we are getting ready to go to bed, and this was on June 6th, and I just was not feeling right. I had a lot of cramping. I started bleeding, and I just wasn't feeling right at all. Tried to go to sleep for a few hours, and it just increasingly got worse, so we ended up going to the local hospital, and we just wanted to see what was going on. Since I was over 20 weeks pregnant, they automatically put me in labor and delivery because after, 20 weeks, the emergency room won't see you where we live just because they know that you can have a baby, after that 20-week time. So went there, and it took about 3 hours until they admitted me because they kind of just wanted to see what was going on, just kind of where the cramping's coming from and just everything that was just happening. They just wanted to see maybe what is the cause of this and if I truly need to be admitted or not. During that time, Abby was of course with me, but they didn't allow him back because of the COVID policies that they have. Not until you were admitted in the hospital was he able to come back. So during that time, it was just me just in this tiny little room, them just doing ultrasounds and tests, test and just all this stuff like that until they were like, we're going to admit her into the hospital. One of the reasons that they admitted me is because when they were checking my cervix, they had felt a bag and they had thought that they felt like my water. So they wanted to admit me just to do some further testing to see what was going on. Probably about 3 hours after being admitted into the hospital, he was then able to come back. But 3 hours after being admitted, my water actually broke on its own. And everything just increasingly just kind of got worse from there. I dilated 3 centimeters and I was on complete bed rest, and I was just getting back to back tests done. Throughout that entire time, from the 6th to the 16th, we were in the hospital that entire 11 days. The 11 days that we were in the hospital definitely was a roller coaster.
That's crazy.
It was really crazy. So during that entire time, we had the NICU team come down to talk to us, and the NICU team was basically just explaining to us that our baby girl was too young, gestational age-wise, for the equipment in the NICU, for everything that would need to be done, that they wouldn't be able to resuscitate her to save her life if she were to be born before 22 weeks.
Yeah, because the tools weren't small enough, and she wasn't as developed. Apparently, just with the lung development and stuff like that, she wouldn't be able to breathe on her own. All these things that they were saying.
And we had doctors come in to talk to us every single day. We've had high-risk doctors that came in and told me that as I'm dilating like this, and as my water already broke, I wouldn't make it another 24 to 48 hours without giving birth to her. Yep. We've had just so many doctors come in and tell us all sorts of things. There was doctors that were trying to induce my labor kind of right after I got there because they felt that that was the best plan to go with, and I refused. As we believe in God and as we are Christians ourselves, we wanted to ultimately just pray about it and just take it day by day and not just make a decision based off of what the doctors were telling us is best to do. So during that entire time, I literally was just on bed rest. We stayed in the hospital. Abby was off of work, and we literally were just there day and night, just taking it day by day, not knowing what the outcome would be. Right. As I started to dilate more, her legs and her feet actually came through my cervix, and because of that, she was semi-exposed throughout part of my pregnancy as I was on bed rest, and they were concerned for a multitude of reasons with her being that low. So during that time, I just continued to stay on bed rest. They did blood tests every single day. They did ultrasounds. They did
heartbeat beating on
They did her heartbeat every morning and every night. They just did so much stuff back to back because we just were trying to make sure she was good. Some of the nurses that I had were extremely sweet and amazing, and they literally very amazing. They literally was like, they're just honestly very surprised, and that it's a miracle that she has stayed this long because they didn't know it was going to last more than 2 days, really, that she was going to be in this situation.
She made it 11 days.
So at the 11th day, so that was June 16th. June 16th, they came in. They did her morning heartbeat, and one of the nurses that came in couldn't find her heartbeat, and so they said, we're gonna call in the doctor because the doctor's here, and we're gonna have the doctor come in and do her heartbeat. So the doctor came in, and the doctor also could not find her heartbeat. So she brought in an ultrasound thing, and she was kind of looking at it, but she's not specialized in doing ultrasounds. So they called down the ultrasound tech that is, actually made to do ultrasounds, and she came down to confirm that Araya lost her heartbeat. So because of that, I had to give birth immediately, and because I was only around 21 and a half weeks gestational, they felt that with me being at the level that I was at as far as cervix dilated, that I would be able to give birth to her with no issues. So I started giving birth to her, and then until it started becoming complicated, I did take a little bit more pain medications, and then I gave birth to her the remainder of the way. But since I couldn't birth her placenta because the placenta was too attached, I had to go into an emergency D&C in the operating room, and I had to get that removed.
Because she was bleeding, and what the doctors were worried about was that she would bleed to death. So, for some reason, because she gave birth so early, apparently her placenta was like really healthy and didn't want to be removed. They were struggling trying to remove it, and they said that it was causing her to bleed out and that it needed to be removed in order for her to stop bleeding. So that was really concerning as well. You know, it's just a lot of things compounding on one another, and she had to get anesthesia and go through that entire operation.
Yep.
And yeah.
So after the procedure, it took me a while to like just wake up and just to be fully alert of everything that was just happening and stuff like that. And you know, then just reality had hit that, you know, we lost our daughter, and that I just see her just sitting right next to us and that she's just not alive. So it's just really hard because she was at bedside with us for like 3 days and she was just next to my side. We could hold her whenever we wanted to. We had photographers come in the room. We had artists come into the room to draw pictures of her. We had the nurses at the hospital give us memory boxes and just memory making of her handprints and her feet prints and everything like that. And
support groups and stuff like that.
And we can attach some of those pictures in here along in the video as well. But just so much that came in, and then it was just like, you know, it's just really, really hard to just go through that, especially just because the entire pregnancy has been healthy and we weren't aware of any complications that even could have happened. And throughout this entire experience, you know, doctors still aren't knowing of why this situation happened and why I gave birth so early. And there was nothing to stop it just because my water already broke. And without her having any amniotic fluid, you know, they just were basically saying like that's what the baby needs at this point because the baby's not really getting everything from the placenta and the umbilical cord at this age until they're about a few weeks more gestational, and that they kind of need that amniotic fluid during this time. So it was just a lot that was just happening at, you know, one time.
We ended up naming her Araya Faith Brownlee, and Araya actually means Lion of God, and you know, just faith. It was something that my mom actually had said, and you know, I just really liked Faith. Just it has such a deep meaning within the Christian religion. So I just wanted her middle name to be Faith. Just a beautiful name. So, but yeah, she was a fighter, y'all. She stayed with us for 11 whole days, and throughout those 11 days, we got to experience her personality a little bit. We found out that
every single morning for breakfast, you know, I had to, of course, eat the hospital food. So I was always eating either waffles or French toast. And every single day, you know, you would put syrup on those items. And so every time I did that, literally not even 30 minutes later after eating it, I just would feel her feet just kick so much. And sometimes we would even see her feet just because like she was just like dancing every time we gave her syrup. And I also never like drink pop, especially dark pops at that. So I had some Pepsi one day and it was at like dinner time and she went absolutely crazy for like hours straight. She was just moving and I was like, it's the most active I've ever seen her. Like she was so active after drinking that Pepsi.
She ain't like the doctors messing with her.
No, she did not like the doctors messing with her. Every day that they took her heart rate, morning and night, she would move so much. It's like they would get her and then she would move all the way like to the other side or something. Like she didn't want to be bothered. She knew when the doctors came in and she knew when the doctors messed with her because she did not want to be bothered. She also loved Baby Shark. And other baby songs. I think that's just because I played them every single day at work at the daycare. And, you know, she could hear in my womb. So she just heard those songs all the time. And she would always move to those songs as well. So during that time, we definitely were able to experience her personality and, you know, just have those memories with her within that 11 days that we were in the hospital going through the hard time. And it just gave me reassurance that she's there, that she's alive, that she has a heartbeat, and that no matter what the doctors are saying, that she is alive and that she is okay. And so, you know, it was just really hard. It was really hard. So on the 18th, I gave birth to her. that night was just kind of complicated from the medications that I had. I passed out that night. My body just wasn't kind of having it. I think it was just a combination from the surgery, from the birth, from the medications, from everything that was kind of happening. We just had her at bedside for like those 3 days, like we said, until we had the hospital remove her. And that's also when we were discharged from the hospital.
Yeah.
And we had funeral arrangements and stuff like that for her. We had Araya's funeral was a week later. We buried her at the same place that his papa was born at, just for, memories. And we wanted her to be, in Babyland. So we had her buried in the Babyland area so that, she's with the other children as well that has passed away.
Yeah.
So it's definitely been a lot. We just ask that you guys continue to keep us in our prayers, and that's why we didn't update you guys right away, just because we have been grieving during this time. It's definitely for sure been extremely hard. Just the emotions, just the postpartum, just everything that's just happening just back to back. Abby has been absolutely the most supportive person during this entire experience, throughout the hospital, coming home and everything. He has been by my side. He has, continued to reassure me that things are going to be okay, that we're going to take it day by day, and that she's in heaven with her brother and sister that passed away, brother or sister who passed away last year when we lost another child. So, she's just with God right now. And it just, definitely is hard. It's definitely hard. And that's why we just needed a break, not only because we're moving, but also just because, we lost our daughter. And
bereavement period and stuff like that.
Quickly.
Don't want to do reactions and stuff when we're not at our peak, and, just want to make sure that mentally that we're okay, and even physically, because Tiny had to go to that surgery. So I just want to make sure that she's okay before we get back at the routine of doing reactions and stuff like that. So, we miss you guys. We love interacting with you guys and doing these reactions and etc. So, we're going to get back at it, but just making sure that we're good, before we get back on camera.
Yeah, for sure. And I actually just returned back to work, but I am doing just such short hours, just because I work at a daycare, number one, and it's just really hard working with kids after going through an experience like this. And then number two, just because my body isn't 100% physically healed just from the birth and the surgery yet for me to just be back at work doing what I'm doing. So, just a lot of adjustments right now, a lot of things that we're just going through. So, we just ask you guys that you guys keep us in our prayers, and that we thank you guys so much for just being so supportive and just waiting for us to come back to continue to do these reaction videos. And we will be back very shortly, guys. We just needed that time to grieve and just to be with one another and, just be with family and the people, that are closest to us.
Right.
With all that being said, we just created a GoFundMe account today for our daughter. Our medical expenses and just everything like that are just really high, way more than we expected. And we just, we started our GoFundMe. So our story is also on our GoFundMe if you want to read that, and we'll attach the link down in the description down below. And, if you guys can help, that'd be greatly appreciated. $1, $5, no matter how much it is, goes a long way. And anything that would be given, we truly appreciate. And we thank you guys already in advance for anyone that would help.
Yeah. Anything, honestly, would help. So, we just appreciate, if you do. But, yeah.
Alright, you guys, so thank you guys so much for tuning in to today's very long video. We'll have the comments on if you guys want to talk to us. We also will just post the GoFundMe link down in the description. If you guys want to see us be more active, we have been on our TikToks a little bit lately. So I'll attach both of our TikTok channels down below. As we have been on those, but as far as YouTube, we haven't been back at YouTube just yet. So like we said, guys, we'll be back in August, and we will see you guys then. We don't have an exact date yet, but when it gets closer to August, we'll let you guys know. So thank you guys so much again for watching today's video.
Thank you.
Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you guys in the next video.
We'll see you guys soon.
We're out. Peace.